Today's 2-minute thinking project is about the topic of accountability. Now, let me tell you a little story about accountability in action I just saw just a few days ago. My wife and I were at the mall and we stopped at Chick-fil-A to get our lunch. And we got our lunch, we sat down, and in just a few minutes, this young man came out of the back room, and he didn't seem like he was too happy to be there just by his posture and his facial expression. And he's pushing a trash cart, and he snaps his gloves and he says loud enough for everybody to hear, "I love my job," in a real sarcastic tone. Well, the young girl that was waiting on customers kind of stepped off to the side, and she looked at him. She said, "What did you say?" And his posture kind of dropped, and he kind of gave her this stare, and I couldn't see his face, but I knew he was gazing at her, and she never but once backed off. And after a few seconds, she said, "You know you're not supposed to say those kind of things on the sales floor. You learned those things in your training." Well, he goes on, gets his trash, he goes back to waiting on customers. And I thought, right there is why Chick-fil-A is great. They have a culture that they have built from the ground up on the first three behaviors I talked about, and especially holding this one in place, accountability. She held that young man accountable to the company's mission and their goals. And that's what makes a great team great. Everybody on the team pulling together. From the youngest to the oldest, not just the CEO, but to those who just entered into the organization. It's in their training. So the first behavior was absolute trust. The second one was being able to engage in conflict. That young lady was not afraid to engage in conflict to see that every person becomes accountable and stays accountable to the mission. And the third one is commitment. Now, if that young man doesn't change his attitude, he's not committed to those goals, he won't last long. But I saw commitment on that young lady's face and her attitude and her words to stay accountable to the goal, to keep Chick-fil-A great. So tune in the next time, and we're going to talk about the fifth behavior, which is collective results. And if you want more information on this, read Patrick Lencioni's book, The Advantage of Healthy Organizations. Thanks for tuning in.